Time for Backstage, and this comes to you every single Tuesday from 7:30 Campus Parade. If it allows us to, but we're starting at 25 to but for the next 30 minutes we're going to be talking about the arts. 0772-168-045 is our WhatsApp, and my name is Patience Musa. Now, we often talk about the challenges musicians face, especially the upcoming ones, and very little attention is paid to those busy people who work tirelessly behind the scenes, ensuring that the artist is happy, on time, and then that this artist is thriving. So what we're going to be talking about this evening we're going to be talking about the managers. Joining me for this conversation, I have the legendary Chido Musasiwa, CEO, founder of Chido Advertising Private Limited, founder of Let Them Trust, chair of Africara Dance Trust, actress in her own right, and also Ammara Brown's manager. Chido, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
And also joining us, Eugene, and also to our legend. But Eugene Museredza, who's the founding manager of Mbeu and the Mozi Tribe Band, and now the manager of the artist Sarungano. Eugene, welcome.
Thank you, Beshi.
And Eugene, you've had quite a journey with artists, and I'm sure you have quite a story to tell. Do you think you'll be writing a book one day?
Yeah, of course I will. Definitely.
I'll certainly line up to buy that book.
A documentary, so many things.
All right. Now, as managers, what are the qualities of a good manager from your experiences? What are the qualities of a good manager from your experience? And this question is for you, Chido, because you managed a band before, a reggae band at that, and then now you manage Ammara. What do you think are the qualities?
So it's quite a fusion of different things. You've got to be a people person to begin with, because you've got to be networked with the people that can then host your artists at any given point in time. But not only that, you've also got to be able to then work with the band, work with the people that are within your camp. So you've got to kind of like be a PR sort of like person, as well as wear a marketing hat, wear a legal hat. So you've got to kind of be an all-rounder to be a good manager. And
with your experience in advertising, I guess that kind of works for you, right?
Yeah, it made it so much easier because you've already got a foot in the door. In some instances, other managers don't have that opportunity,
And Eugene, you come from a teaching background. Whenever you say this, I'm just like, I can't picture you teaching, Eugene. Like, I can't.
I'm a qualified
teacher. I can't see that. What are the qualities of a good artist? A manageable one.
A good artist.
Not good a good artist, because remember, an artist can be really good and talented, but but what are the qualities of the ones that you can actually work with?
To me, one is to be emotionally balanced. Talent is the last on the list. Emotionally balanced, understands the business of music. Right, because once you have got a manager, you're talking about profit. You want to make money, so the artist must understand that he's just a piece of the puzzle. There are so many.
It's not the whole puzzle.
No, it's not the whole puzzle. He or she is not the only important piece of the profit for the profit to happen. So emotionally balanced, understanding the business of music, and then talent comes at the last.
Now, can we get into the role of the manager? For both of you guys, I want to hear what you guys think. What is the role of the manager, starting with you, Chido?
Well, I think we have to look at it in the Zimbabwean context, right? The manager's role is an all-rounder, as I mentioned before, because a lot of artists that we have here cannot afford all the different elements that you should have within your camp. So like I said initially, you are marketing, you are obviously sales, because you're looking for jobs. You are a proposal writer, because if there's festivals, you're writing the proposals. You are making sure that the band is rehearsed. You're making sure that the artist is like coming up with new content, because without which you wouldn't have anything to then market. You're then looking at contracts, because anybody else would want to be paid, but you are already a part of the camp. So more often than not, you're also wearing like a legal hat. So you've got to kind of like dabble in terms of all of these things to be able to keep that ship sailing.
I think, Chido, you've just answered that pretty well there. So let's talk about drawing the line, Eugene. Where do you draw the line? You know, there's so much, Chido, you mentioned quite a lot of things there. And in other countries, the manager doesn't do all of those things. Yeah. But in Zimbabwe, a manager is forced to do all those things. So where does one draw the line? Manager, friend, lover?
Okay. Drawing the line, okay, I'm going to answer it broadly. It depends on the level of the artist. A good artist are happy at it. So, for example, if the artist is now probably very big, you might have many managers. Probably have the general manager, then has the logistics manager, operation manager, technical, and so on, right? And then on friendship, I believe it develops naturally between an artist and a manager.
But friendship aizo pindisisa ere business, aizo kanganisa business ere the business of music. Okay,
the business of music now, it's a continuous business. It's not an 8 to 5 kind of job or relationship. Yes, in manufacturing, if you're manufacturing a cement, na 5 tavara, you can make it at home, but it's continuous. So you have to get along the way. I know the people who say that musaite shamari when you are an artist and manager. It's difficult for that to actually happen. Because you've got a shared vision. You've got a shared vision. So whatever he or she does in his private life, you have to kind of like, no, you have to be aware, because that can be damaging the brand. Or what me as the manager will be doing might also damage the brand if we really separate our lives.
Okay. Yes. And do you think that having a spouse as a manager works? Could you see yourself managing someone you're in a romantic relationship? How would the dynamics work? Where do you draw the line? How would you navigate that, Chido?
Okay, I think, you know what, it's about compartmentalizing things, you know, and I think once you get to a certain level, you are a professional, right? So if you're a professional, you need to know that right now we're in the workspace. Obviously, there will be elements of things like spilling into one or the other, but for the most part, you can actually see things through and then continue the fight when you're done with the work. I think you have to just understand that the work has to be done. You can't have a fight at home and then not be able to go and perform, right? You've got to keep it moving, because that's also your livelihood. So it's about compartmentalizing things. And it happens not only when people are in relationships, because even when you're not in a relationship with your artist, there can be things that can be disruptors. But you need to be able to know how to then manage it. And I think that's where the management aspect of things comes in.
Yeah. And okay, Eugene, you're about to say something?
Yeah, to add on that, now it depends with individuals, but we are not robots. We are emotional beings. So managing someone you're emotionally involved with, it can be a challenge, because things can spill. Things can spill all over. But we've got successful stories, especially in the gospel sector, of couples work together. But it's quite a challenge from my experience.
I like how we say that, that they're working. But as long as we are not in the home, can we actually confidently say it's working because we don't know what's going on in the house. We see what's outside only. Our time at exactly 16 minutes to 8 right here on my station, your station, ZFM Stereo. This is Backstage Tuesdays from 7:30 through to 8 o'clock with me, Patience Musa. And today we're having a chat with artists, managers, and in the studio with me, I have Chido Musasiwa as well as Eugene Museredza. So, now, let's talk remuneration. Now, this is a very controversial, topic. Let's talk first about transparency. How much transparency is involved when it comes to remuneration? Does the artist also get to see these contracts? Do they know how much is coming through? And how is this money then divided, when it comes to the band?
Okay, so I think it comes in twofold, right? There are certain instances where you've got a contract. The artist obviously knows what's on the contract. Some people will say, some managers will say, okay, we co-sign, so there's no way that they wouldn't know. And I think the honesty becomes the first thing of this relationship. Things have just got to be transparent and on the table. Then you've got an instance where you've got gate takings, right? Now, this is where now you have to work on trust. Because whilst the artist on stage, the manager is the one that's really at the gate or managing both stage and gate and would know what's going on. A lot of things can happen where gate takings are concerned. But I think the trust element and how integrous you are as a human being then really comes into play where that is concerned. Because if you're looking at a relationship with a long haul, there's no reason why you want to be stealing from the pot that's keeping everybody alive.
And Eugene, your take on that?
A manager. If you're a manager of an artist, you're like the group CEO. You're like the managing director. You're like you take care of the interest of the artist, the product. So you must come up with systems on money, depending on the level that you are with the artist. Right? If you are still an upcoming artist, probably the manager is still the accountant, the marketing person, is the cashier, is the security. There's so many things that come that is trusted to do, right? And trust is very important, like what Chido is saying. But you need to move fast and have systems that are auditable. Whether it's from royalties, merchandise, from gate takings, from commercials, and so on. You must have a system that is in place. If you're paid X dollars, what is your share? What is my share? What are we saving? What are we putting on?
And what goes to the band? How does that work, though? Because the arrangement with the artist is different to the arrangement with the band, right?
Yes.
So is the band also aware? Is there that kind of transparency where the band is aware of what's coming through, or the band is on a contract?
It depends with what you agreed with the band members when they joined the band.
What is best practice?
I think, so if you're working with session musicians, right, it's a bit different to when you've got...
I can't stand session musicians.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, session musicians. I can't stand
Yeah, but if you're working with session musicians, then it's very difficult for them to be privy to everything that's on the table. But if you are a group, let's say like Mukomba, I'm going to use them just because they've been working together for a very long time. It would be in the best interest for everybody to know what's going on. But to also know that royalties are different. And royalties is like it's a whole different discussion altogether, because that's where things become a bit, tricky. But when it comes to just performance monies, then you know that, okay, this person is going to be getting so much and the band splits is this much because managers going to get, and managers get usually between like a 10% to a 20% margin. There are some managers that don't get anything from royalties,
Okay.
Because some of the work would have been done way before they were even there. So why should they be benefiting from royalties of work that they were not a part of? So it really differs.
Now, in the past, we've had groups that split due to these issues to do with remuneration, whereby the lead singer was getting a lot more than the band, and the band was getting very, very little, and the manager was looking out mostly for the lead singer and not for the band. how do you juggle that, whereby you're also, concerned with the welfare of the band members? How do you work that in so that everybody is happy?
Mm-hmm. Do you want to get that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It depends with how you started, or how the band members joined the band.